Yo peeps, Mischief here. Right, today we're going to be looking into the connection between psilocybin, between DNT and UFOs. Basically, the connection between the spiritual world and, well, aliens. Let's delve into this. There's going to be some bits about the research from Imperial College London, so let's get into this, people. Cue the title sequence. There we go. So welcome if you're listening on Spotify. Welcome if you are watching on YouTube. Welcome also. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. Thank you to people that are leaving comments for videos for me to do. I really do appreciate that. If you've got anything that you want me to investigate or look into, or there's a particular topic that you want me to cover, leave it in the comments and I'll have a look and see what it is I can find out about it and what I can, basically cover for you and put a little video together. So I got asked to do the Zimbabwe UFO, which I've covered in the 10 best sort of sightings that school children have seen. That was my last episode, if you want to go and check that out. And that was basically obviously covering, like I just said, 10 times that school children or children have seen or reported to have seen or interacted with a UFO or an alien. And obviously the most famous one was the Zimbabwe case in 1994. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that obviously these children saw something that they described as otherworldly, a vehicle landing just outside their school. Now, they obviously interpreted this as aliens from another planet, from another solar system, from wherever. If this had been seen, though, say in the 1800s, and there have been cases of things being seen or UFOs, crop circles, which I will delve into, which I think lead into spiritual connections and spiritual awakenings, basically, which links us to places like Eleusis. I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. Quickly going back to the school children. And so if they'd have basically seen this in the 1800s or something, they wouldn't have processed this the same way as seeing something landing. It might have been seen as fairies or elves or devils, whichever way they interpreted it. Because obviously some of the children described these beings as possibly looking evil because of their eyes, the way that they just sort of looked at them and looked inside them, basically. So this is where I question sometimes whether there is a link between these realms. Are some of the things that we have seen or that people have reported, especially like the grey aliens and things, could they have been misinterpreted thousands of years ago as gods or spiritual beings, as elves, as pixies, as gnomes? Or are there other beings like pixies, gnomes, and elves and fairies in another dimension or possibly a pocket realm? Now, I do have my own theories on this, and they are sort of going to be, well, they are explained in a way in two of the books that I'm writing. One of them with my writing partner, Dan Brown. Not that Dan Brown, but another Dan Brown, a better Dan Brown, Bimman Brown. And he and I write about a thing called End Without End, which is basically a realm where the Guyverse existed before this realm and this dimension. Things happened that created this realm, and you'll have to wait for the book, unfortunately, for me to divulge it. I will hopefully be doing a session on here where I'll be reading some of the book as I've actually got it back out again, because I'm sort of in the process of rewriting that, which also links in with another book that I'm writing, which is part of the same universe but a different realm, basically, called Bridges. And that pertains to the same ideas as End Without End in some ways. But in Bridges, we are connected more with the earth and with the spirit realm. And also in Bridges, as in End Without End, the human species has been basically manipulated or controlled in some way to be lesser than we should be. for some reason, and I'll get into those in my books. So you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait probably a million years for me to finish these things. But it's the same way that most aliens or beings from the other side or from the other realm, especially if you listen to people that are taking DMT or mushrooms, and here we go. This is where we're going to go into this sort of little walkabout through the realm of psilocybin and DMT. Now, I have covered this before in an episode looking into the studies of the Imperial College London. Now, I've got some research here to read out for you from April 2021, when the Imperial College London was looking into psilocybin, and they had a research team look into this with 56 people. That was one of their first sort of miniature trials with psilocybin, and they were using acetalopram along with psilocybin in these tests. So basically they had 59 volunteers with moderate to severe depression symptoms or anxiety. They were given either a high dose of psilocybin or a very low dose of psilocybin, or a placebo, or just an escitalopram. So obviously it was not a massive study, but in the psilocybin arm of the trial, 30 people received an initial dose of psilocybin, which was 25 milligrams at the start of the study, followed by a second dose, which was 25 milligrams 3 weeks later. So only 2 doses. They were then given 6 weeks of a daily placebo capsule. So nothing actually in it, it's just a placebo. So they think they're taking something. The capsules obviously would start to take 1 per day after the first dosing session, increased to 2 per day after the second dosing session. And it was Dr. Robin Carhart Harris, which there's a picture of him here. So unfortunately, on Spotify, unless it's uploaded the video, you won't be able to see the lovely looking Robin Carhart Harris. I mean, he not a bad looking chap. That could be a James Bond right there, you know. So in the escitalopram arm of the study, 29 people received a 1 milligram psilocybin at the dosing session. A dose so low as to be classed as non-active, which it pretty much is. Anywhere from, was it 0.5, I think, something like that, to 1 gram, somewhere under there. Well, under there, you're microdosing. So it shouldn't have really that much effect upon you. They were also given 6 weeks daily an escitalopram of 10 milligram capsule, 1 per day after the first dosing session, increasing to 2 per day at the second dosing session, 20 milligram per day, the maximum dose for SSRI. All participants were assessed using standardization scales of depressive symptom severity. The main measurement of the QIDS RS-16 was used to gauge depressive symptoms on the continuous scale ranging from 0 to 27. The higher scores indicated greater depression at the start of the trial, meaning the score was for 14.5 for psilocybin group, but after 6 weeks, scores reduced to an average of 8 points. That's from 2 doses. So the response defined as a reduction in depression scores from the baseline of at least 50% was seen as 70% of people in the psilocybin group compared with 48 in the escitalopram group. Additional remissions of symptoms measured in a score of 0 to 5 at week 6, seen in 57% of the psilocybin group compared to just 28 in the escitalopram group. It also goes on to say as well that the side effects, basically, from the escitalopram were quite severe. You basically got nausea, headaches, dizziness, feelings of being tired, sexual dysfunction, whereas in the psilocybin group, they had none of this. I think they reported maybe having a mild headache the next day from the high dose from the trip, basically. And that's one of the important aspects that I want to get into as well in this thing. So the studies they're doing at Imperial College London are absolutely amazing, and the fact that the UK are allowing this leads me back as well to another video I did, which is the Misuse of Drugs Act. Because this needs abolishing. It really does. It's one of the stupidest things that we have in our society. The Misuse of Drugs Act. And drugs are defined by what the government calls drugs, but drugs that they want you to have are fine and you must buy them. You know, the reason that they don't want us to have cannabis and psilocybin and things is because it actually opens our minds up to these other realms, these other possibilities, these other places, to these other beings, to this other way of living and this other way of existing. With that being said as well, it just goes to show that the 2 doses of psilocybin that were used basically on the study had a greater effect than this man-made Elesciapram. I mean, what a name, Elesciapram. Sounds like something that you'd name, I don't know, a weird seahorse or something. I don't know, Elesciapram. It just sounds so man-made. Psilocybin sounds so much better, doesn't it? So anyway, that's just one of the studies that they've been conducting. Now, if you're interested in the Imperial College London, please go and look at their website, because they do actually have trials going on pretty much all the time. Things that you can get involved in. There's certain criteria, obviously, that you have to meet. Now, they do put at the end of the study that they do not recommend that you do this, obviously, on your own. Go and, have an experience on magic mushrooms. I will not say anything to the contrary, obviously. But if you were to do this, I would recommend being with people that you trust, or you're in a surrounding that you know and you feel safe in. And if you can have somebody with you that's done it before, is always better. Basically a shaman, someone to help see you through. It doesn't have to be a proper shaman. It can be your mate Tony that's, done a lot of shrooms in his time, bit of LSD, something, someone that can be there with you, basically to help you navigate through the vortex that opens as your mind is freed from the tyranny of our world, from your daily life, from everything that holds you down. And just lets you go into that world that we all know is there. We can't see it. We see it when we dream. Some of us seen it when we were children, You've seen it if you've seen a ghost. If you've had a weird experience, or something. Terrified you, or something that enlightened you. Now, if you've ever tried DMT or you've ever tried magic mushrooms, you will know that they rocket you in the right way, to that place where the elves live, where God is, where the goddesses are, where whatever you think is out there. And it's hard to explain to someone who's never taken it, never done anything like that. And this is why I get frustrated at politicians and things who advocate for cannabis and things to be illegal still in the UK and stuff. It's like, you tell me you've never taken anything or you've never done anything. You use alcohol, yeah? Well, that's the worst poison you could be putting in your body is that you could be selling to people. But that's okay, because you can get them into the hospitals, and if you keep drugs illegal still, then you can fill up your prisons with cheap labour, you know, and you've got people that you can employ. You can put money somewhere into prisons, you know, to lock people up, and put your money into the police, who can then carry out your agendas and all your policies and enforce them upon people, so that, you know, you can gain from this. It's like they think we don't know that when you get all these drugs that you take and you destroy them, right? Most of the time you're not destroying them, or you redistribute them back to people that you want to sell them again, so that you can then go and lock the people back up again, and then have a massive cycle of stuff going around and the prison system working. So yeah, we're going off topic, aren't we? It's getting a bit deep. But that's the point. When you start talking about psychedelics like magic mushrooms, like cannabis, like LSD, like DMT, you are really talking about a spiritual experience, about experiences that we as people are being denied. You know, some of the greatest music ever was written while people were on LSD or finish with my woman, 'cause she couldn't help me with my mind. People think I'm insane because I am frowning all the time. You know, you've got bands that came out of nowhere, and you think this new movement of wokeism and whatever else is, you know, a new thing. What do you think people thought hippies were? Well, you've got people basically selling free love, man, free love and peace, and we don't want to hurt anyone. Everyone's equal. Everyone should be, you know. And you've got people going, everyone's equal. I want to go and blow people up, boy. You know. You know, let's go shoot some people. Yeah, yeehaw, Team America. Fuck yeah. You know. And if you're, you know, tripping out and you're sat there going, dude, no. You know, the only problem with this new sort of woke thing is it's nothing about spirituality or actually connecting with people. It's about controlling people and stopping freedom of speech and stopping, you know, everything else, so that you conform with narratives and ideas. Whereas the hippie movement was about not conforming to fucking anything. You know, being free, being a human being, you know. You can't make that kind of thing up, and that is what hallucinogenics do for us. You know, the stoned ape theory is one of my favorite theories of all time, because it says basically that because we're upright and, you know, we're drawing blood more to the brain and things, the experience got better with us because we could use our hands and we were up, and, you know, we could see things and explore things more. So when we were on these psychedelic trips where you didn't know where the hell you were, and you're just in the forest with the echo of the trees and the bees And then the elves appear. And the people of the forest. What's that? It's a giant. It's the Fairy Queen. Hello. You know, when you've got people doing that all day, they don't want to go to war for you, do they? They don't want to fight for you. They just want to have fun, man, and chill. So, back to a serious note then. This takes me into things like Eleusis in the Greek times. Now, Eleusis, if you don't know, was a place of spirituality, was a place where they basically went to speak to the goddess, and you had an elixir, you went on a journey, you had to go on a journey to really get there. I think it was either Plato or Socrates, I always get it mixed up, went to the Eleusis, and he had an experience there. I believe it was ergots and cannabis and some other things, so basically LSD and cannabis and some other mixture in this compound of wine, which you drank, and then you had the experience, which is not unlike the DMT experience. So, is there another world that we can see into? I honestly think so. I mean, I've had experiences with mushrooms, and the things that I've seen, I ain't made them up, you know? I mean, I am a creative guy, but no, not... You know, you can't explain unless you've ever done them. And I don't think anyone that's leading our countries should be allowed to lead our countries unless they've had experiences with psilocybin, with DMT, and been on some shamanistic, you know, trips, basically. Because it loses your ego, it loses your id, it makes you focus or think more about the situation, the life that you're in right now, and living in this moment and connecting with everybody and everything. It's like when you take your shoes off. You should all try this, by the way. I do this every day. If I'm out on site and stuff, obviously I've got to wear my boots. When I get home, I take my shoes off and I just walk around barefoot outside, because it connects you with the earth. And this is one of my points, is we are losing that connection with us. There's actually a bit of a resurgence, which is quite nice at the moment, of psilocybin, but it's mainly in bloody America is awesome for this stuff. Obviously, but we're doing research over here in the UK and it's illegal. It's like, it boggles my mind. It really does. You put up sections and acts and crap like the 1975 drugs policy. And it's just the biggest load of... No one voted for it. You didn't put this out to anyone. You never asked any, like, you know, public order acts, you know, that you put together for random stuff. Last time I checked, it's us that's meant to be in power, not you. We elect people to help run the country, not to dictate the country, not to force opinions, not to force laws, or to force narratives. And the drug narrative is a disgusting one. So this is part of a campaign that I'm trying to get together to legalize cannabis and magic mushrooms, psilocybin, DMT, other substances like this in this country. Now, I've said it before on other shows, on other episodes that I've done, basically, that I would put the money that you get from opening cafes and opening places, you know, shamanistic places, and the selling of cannabis and things into schools, education, into farming, into all sorts, because you could have farmers growing crops of cannabis for you. You know, that utilizes one field. You can then pay more money back to them. You've then got kids that you can send out farming and picking strawberries and actually learning how to get a yield and a crop, and teaching children, you know, how to actually build things as well, and get more of our society building and doing and producing, you know, and opening our minds to this world. I mean, we're British, we're so stuck up our own asses, it's unreal. You know, we don't think anything ever happens, you know, because it happens everywhere else. Oh no, this, you know, literally, I've been driving, and this is horrible. I'm not going to mention the name of the lady, but a job I've been doing in Chesterfield. Literally, I've driven past a dead body twice. Twice. The police found a dead body on a road that I literally have to drive up. So it's a major road, 2-lane traffic, either side, big major road. And basically there was a lay-by that a lady's body was found dumped in. Okay. I'm mentioning this on this because this is one of the problems with our society, is we don't think anything like this happens, and then stuff happens and we sweep it under the carpet. Like the David Grush stuff in America, you know, because it's not happening over here, we're not really bothered about it. Even in America, they're not really bothered about it. No major newscasters has done anything about it, because of course they won't, because mainstream media don't want you to see anything like this, you know. And what he's talking about is obviously aliens, you know, alien craft, but or otherworldly craft. And it's like I'm saying at the minute, is it from another world, or is it from another dimension? I honestly believe some of it is probably other dimensional. Is possibly some of it from here. I know I'm going to sound nuts now, but I'll get more into a theory about that I have, about a possible civilization that was here before, that either stayed here or went somewhere else and came back, which is one of the reasons why they're here, because, you know, it's a big old universe, and if these beings have been here for thousands of years, which is what leads me to believe at some level they must be from here, or from a reality that intersects with here. Sex, I said intersex. Sex. He said a dirty word. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, something like that, which is where I'm getting the connection, obviously, with psilocybin, with DMT. These substances do allow you to go into some other realm. And the beings that people describe in these other realms as well, I've seen some weird ones, but some of them do resemble aliens. You know, possible grey aliens. This might have been misconstrued for elves, pixies, fairies, little folk, you know. So yeah, so there's my little piece anyway on psilocybin, on sort of my interpretation of the connection between this and the UFOs. I'm going to be doing some more videos like this to actually work out what I've just said to you, and put it into a better context. Because it's a complicated sort of subject, but I do think that there is a link between hallucinogenics and aliens, or the spiritual side, the like ghosts, poltergeists, things like that, stuff that we can't see, that when you take these substances, it opens up your mind to be able to see them. And the experiences that some people have when they see UFOs are akin to a psychedelic experience. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't seen these things. What I'm saying is, maybe for some reason, for that moment, they could connect with another dimension, or the other dimension came through to connect specifically with them. Or maybe they came from outer space. I'd like to think that it's a multiple layered level. One that as a species we once possibly understood. But now, because of the corruption and whatever has happened to our genetics and the way that our minds now work and the way that we are controlled and the way that things like, you know, cannabis and, like I said before, you know, psilocybin is a class A drug. Magic mushrooms are class A, which means that you can get up to life imprisonment for the production and selling of them. They literally grow out of the fucking ground. You know, I know places that they grow out of the fucking ground, you know. They're not hard to find. They're literally not hard to find. You don't have to be a criminal mastermind to be walking in the woods and go, oh, look, there's some Liberty Bell caps. Obviously, you have to make sure they're Liberty Bells and not, you know, other ones, because some mushrooms are poisonous. Please do not just go randomly picking mushrooms. Do some research into mushrooms, and if you want to go foraging for things, that's all well and good, but make sure you do your research and do not just randomly pick mushrooms and start eating them, because some of them can kill you. That is my disclaimer. Warning, me, warning, me, warning. You will die if you pick the wrong mushroom. The wrong mushroom. Yes, you will die if you pick the wrong mushroom. Please don't pick the wrong mushroom. So yes, I'm not urging anyone to go and do that, but I'm literally saying that these things grow out of the fucking ground. And if you actually educated people and children on things like, you know, use of drugs and psilocybin and things like that, and actually educated people on them and then allowed people to use them, there wouldn't be a problem with them. And then there'd be no criminals with them, would there? Rather than teaching people what fucking toilets they should use, or what pronouns somebody is, or forcing someone to have a narrative that you want them to have, which is totally not true, maybe we should be looking into actually opening our minds and letting us use substances that are actually natural. And can help us, you know, and have been used for thousands of years. Anyway, yeah, so these substances have been used for thousands of years, and now you're telling us, no, you can't use them, you can't do this with them, you can't do that with them. It's insane. And when they obviously do link to some other realm, which I believe with the DMT studies in the Imperial College of London, they have actually started doing this intravenous drip, basically. I think it started in 2021. 2022. I know this has only been recently done in the last couple of years, giving people an intravenous drip to see if they can stay longer in the realm of the DMT, of the psilocybin, of wherever it is that we go when we're in there, and to basically map it and to discover what these beings want from us, you know. So anyway, that's enough of my ramblings. And my thoughts on that. It literally is just my thoughts on that, this video. So I'd love to say thank you very much to everyone that's subscribed. Like I said, please leave me comments if you've got any videos you'd like me to do. So I'm going to be doing the next section of 1944 to 1961. That's going to be one of the next upcoming videos. So it's going to be covering Roswell and a few other cases, looking into Project Blue Book a bit more and when that sort of ended. And then we're going to be going into 1961 onwards, looking into cases up to like 1985, and then cases from there, UFO cases, just to build a timeline, like I said before, to get us on a road to sort of understanding where we're at. The reason I'm doing that is because the same reason I've been doing these What's the Deal With, which I'm going to be doing another couple of those, which is basically where I explain who people are. So I've done a What's the Deal with George Knapp and a What's the Deal with Jeremy Corbell, just to explain a bit of their background and who they are. And the reason that I'm doing the sort of timeline thing is because David Grush has come out and said, oh, there's aliens and people are working on them and there's reverse engineering crafts, and if this makes me a disinformer, as somebody called me. Anyway, I'm a disinformer with 151 followers and 8 followers on Spotify. Because I'm a government informer. I'm a government informer. Yeah, so I know I'm going off on a tangent. Oh, what was I even saying? Yeah, so with the UFO topic then, there we go. With the UFO topic, he's come forward. Nothing's happened. They've had a meeting in Congress about it, right, in America. No one said anything in the UK or any other country, right, about this. Or been like, hey, have you seen in America, this guy's come forward and said that they've got secret programs and they're working on them and they've retrieved alien craft. Do we know anything about this? No, we know nothing about this. Are you sure about that? Yes, I am positively sure about that. Please never ask me this question ever again. Right, but anyway. You know, it's like, is that the conversation that was had? Or does everyone just know and is going, if we just stay quiet, if we stay quiet about the UFOs and the aliens, okay? We just let America take the flag. And then everyone thinks that America's been lying to them. And they're the only ones that have got aliens. Does that sound like a good plan? So when it all actually finally comes out, everyone can go, oh, we never knew that you had a flying saucer program. Because we never given you any flying saucers that have ever crashed in our country ever. We are so surprised. We cannot believe that there are other life in the universe. We are shocked. Is that going to be on the newscast in like 5 years' time or something? Or is it all going to be swept under the carpet as per bloody usual? And then nothing's going to happen again for like another 50 fucking years. And then suddenly we'll just have aliens on his doorstep going, hi guys. And we're like, ah! And they'll be like, has no one told you we've literally been sending a message for like the last 100 years that we're on his way. We've sent like little ships because like the big ships can't get here as quick. No one told you. No, Steve, no one told them. No one told them we were coming. Can you believe this? We've literally said we've been drawing things on it. We got the beings that live here. No, you don't know about the beings that already live here, that lived here before you did and helped seed your planet. They've not been told. They've not been. Steve. Get Andy, get Pam. I know these aliens have got weird Earth normal names. Get Sandra. I don't fucking know. Get Sasha. What do you call an alien? Al. Yeah, come here. They've not been told. Look at them. I spat them. Look at them. They've not been. Poor buggers. Boy, they've not been told. Literally, you didn't read anything that we wrote. We literally wrote in crops. We thought it was quite funny actually. Yeah, you didn't. You thought it was people with planks do it. For fuck's sake. What about that radio signal we sent you? You didn't get it. You thought it was some bleeps. Okay. What about all the like abduction things that? Because that's like, well, that wasn't us. I mean, well, we know the guys that did it. Barry and Paul, yeah, Chuckle Brothers they are. One of them's gone now, but yeah, they've been around doing lots of weird stuff. They are weird. I mean, we got them locked up now. Well, I mean, well, one of them's gone, but anyway, you know, we got one of them, and yeah, it's, you know, literally no one told you we were coming. Can't believe that. Yeah, so that could be a conversation between an alien and one of us, couldn't it? You know, in a couple of years' time. Literally, no one told you we were coming. What about the psychedelic experience? They were banned. You banned them. You've done what? It grows in the ground, you know. It grows in the ground. We left them so you could communicate with us. And who said this? Have they ever taken them? They've never taken them. And it's a hair. It's not an orb. It was a hair. They've never taken them, and yet they're telling you that you can't take them. Right, we're going. We're leaving. Have a nice night, Earth people. I'm doing a bit. If no one got that, I'm doing a bit. I'm an alien and I'm leaving. Anyway, yeah, see you. Yeah, cheers for that, Gary the alien there. Right, so that's a long rambling episode, isn't it? So yeah, basically, psilocybin, good for you. Cures depression, anxiety, and PTSD apparently with 2 doses. And DMT opens up realms to where the aliens live, I think. So I'd just like to know in the comments, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the drugs policies in the UK, around the world for that matter? What do you think of experiences with psilocybin, with DMT? Do you think it opens up another realm? Do you think the UFOs are from another dimension? Or do you just think they're from outer space? Both would be nice, wouldn't it? Hey, both would be nice. Or do you like my theory? Do you think that some of them are actually from here? You know, they've been here all along. They're from here. Maybe this is where the Nibiru connection comes in, something like that. I know that's a sore subject with some people, but there is another article outside our solar system I'm going to be delving into in an episode. So like I say, I've got some loads of upcoming stuff, so stay tuned. So I hope you enjoyed this bit of a ramble. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Also, I will have my first ever, hopefully, Spotify guest, one of my friends, Chris, talking about his experiences and things that he's been going through lately, and a great charity walk that he's just been on. So I will link him in the description below. Right, guys, enjoy your nights, and I shall see you laters. Where's that bloody... Oh!